Vincent van Gogh is one of the most admired painters in the world, not only because of the emotional power of his work, but also because of the extraordinary way he used color, brushwork, texture, and emotion. He was born on March 30th, 1853, in the Netherlands, and decided to become an artist at the age of 27. In a relatively short artistic life, he moved from dark, earthy tonal painting to vivid color, contrast, and highly expressive surfaces. In this video, I would like to focus less on biography and more on what painters can learn directly from his works. How he builds a composition, how he organizes color, how he creates movement with the brush, and how he transforms observation into a heightened vision shaped by color, movement, profound personal turmoil, and inner anguish. Before we begin looking at the paintings, it may be useful to think briefly about tools and color. Van Gogh's letters and the paintings themselves reveal his love of thick impasto, visible brushwork, and strongly textured surfaces, and use a variety of brushes, including finer brushes for more delicate work. For painters studying his technique today, firm bristle brushes, flat and filbert brushes, a small round brush, and a palette knife can be very helpful. His color choices also include strong pigments such as cobalt, ultramarine, chrome yellow, emerald green, Veronese green, and zinc white. For the suggested palettes here, I include modern equivalents. Titanium white is practical and widely available today, while zinc white is closer to the historical white mentioned in Van Gogh's letters. This is not meant as an exact reconstruction, but as a practical guide for study and inspiration. This early still life is especially valuable for painters because it shows Van Gogh at the beginning of his journey. The subject is simple: a straw hat, a bottle, a pipe, a pot, and a white cloth. But even here, we can already see a serious interest in painted texture. According to the Kröller-Müller Museum in Otterlo, in the Netherlands, Van Gogh was practicing color and texture in his work. The stiff, fray straw of the hat, the shine of the bottle, the clay pipe, the earthenware pot, and the folds of the cloth. The composition is modest and grounded, with the objects gathered closely together on a table, creating a quiet, intimate arrangement. The colors are still restrained earth browns, ochres, mute whites, and soft grays, far from the brilliant contrasts of his later years. For painters, this is a beautiful reminder that great colorists often begin with careful observation of humble things. Is that this work has the honesty of a beginning, very quiet and deeply attentive manner of expressing himself. My own feelings, the search for a personal style and expression. For painters who wish to study this work or create their own inspired version, Here is a suggested modern practice palette. In this self-portrait, Van Gogh presents himself not simply as a sitter, but as a working painter. He stands behind the easel, holding a palette and brushes. This is important. The painting is also a statement of artistic identity. The Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam points out that he uses bright, almost unblended colors. Even in the palette he holds, we can sense the intensity of his color wheel. Vivid blues, yellows, greens, and warm tones placed alongside darker notes, ready to become part of the painting's expressive force. He also uses especially complementary pairs, red and green, yellow and purple, blue and orange. These contrasts intensify one another. The orange-red bear. Compositionally, the format is vertical and focused. The figure fills the space, and the easel creates a barrier that brings us into the act of painting itself. For painters, this work is a powerful lesson in how color, relationships can create energy without becoming chaotic. My personal reading is that the face appears concentrated, slightly tense, but resolute, very resolute. For me, this is the image of the man who has fully entered his vocation, yet remains deeply lost within his inner self. This painting already shows the great transformation of Van Gogh's color. We can see a white path in a grey stone wall winding through ochre and harvest yellow fields under a brilliant turquoise sky. Long, visible brush strokes create a vivid, stylized landscape. The eye is gently led by the white road, the wall, and the gate toward the house and haystacks. So the composition has both movement and structure. The colors are striking, warm yellows in the walls and fields, turquoise and azure in the sky, lilac and lavender in the stone wall, touches of red and green in the vegetation. Also can we see? As the National Gallery of Art in Washington notes, it causes great impact, the effect of complementary color pairing, which shimmer against each other increasing luminosity. For painters, this work is excellent for studying how color can simplify form without flattening the image emotionally. My own reading is that the scene feels sunlit, profound, alive, deeply composed, full of heat, rhythm, order, and luminosity. This is one of Van Gogh's most famous works, and for painters it is a masterclass in color variation within a very limited palette. The Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam explains that Van Gogh painted 5 large canvases of sunflowers in a vase, working with 3 shades of yellow and almost nothing else, proving that a painting could achieve richness and eloquence through variations of a single color. This is not just a flower picture, it's a study in unity, repetition, rhythm, texture, and subtle variations within a golden yellow harmony. The composition is simple but powerful. A vase on a table with the flower heads spreading outwards and outwards like a living crown. Some blooms are open and radiant, others heavy, drying, or past their peak. This gives the painting a human quality. The museum also notes that the sunflower pictures had a special meaning for Van Gogh and were associated by him with gratitude. My own reading is that the painting joins joy and fragility. It celebrates his life, but it also acknowledges that time always changes everything. The Starry Night is one of the clearest examples of how Van Gogh transformed visibly reality into emotional and imaginative form. The painting is dominated by a moon and blue, white, and yellow star-filled sky that occupies roughly 3/4 of the picture plane. The sky appears turbulent and agitated, with intensely swirling blue-green patterns rolling across the surface like waves. Bright orbs of white and yellow, a light radiated from the moon and stars. The painting is based not only on observation, but also on imagination, memory, and emotion. The Museum of Modern Art in New York notes, for example, that the church steeple resembles those of Holland rather than southern France. Compositionally, the cypress at the left rises like a dark vertical flame, balancing the wide movement of the sky and anchoring the village below. For painters, this work is a lesson in expressive brushwork and rhythmic design. My own feeling is that the painting is not simply about a night sky, intensity, about a world remembered and emotionally recreated. This painting is often treated as a final statement, but the Van Gogh Museum points out that the idea that it was his very last work is a persistent myth. Still, it remains one of his most emotionally charged landscapes. The composition is broad and open, yet unsettling. A red-brown path cuts into the field and seems to divide, while crows move across a dramatic sky. The museum notes that Van Gogh wanted his wheat fields under stormy skies to express sadness and extreme loneliness, but also something healthy and fortifying about the countryside of grass. For painters, this work is a remarkable lesson in emotional contrast through color and space. Having had a reproduction of this painting in my home for many years, I have always been deeply affected by its high horizon line, so different from conventional landscape compositions. To me, it almost feels as if Van Gogh wanted to show us that the earth is closer to the heavens than we usually imagine, and that the crows cross that space like dark symbols, barriers, fears, and terrors of life that stand between us and what we long to reach. So for me, the painting holds beauty and disturbance at the same time. It is not simply mysterious and dark. It is tense, alive, and wants to describe our humanity. What makes Vincent van Gogh so important for painters is the way he turned pain into feeling. In these works, we can see his movement from restrained, earthy painting toward radiant color contrasts, expressive brushwork, and deeply personal interpretation. He teaches us that a painting does not have to imitate reality mechanically or photographically. It can transform what we see into rhythm, light, texture, tension, gratitude, solitude, and emotional presence. That is why his work still speaks so strongly to artists today.